Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video we will talk about INotifyPropertyChanged interface. So this interface is used to notify binding targets that a property value has changed. So in case of binding, if a property value has changed, then it is used to notify the targets. Let's take a scenario to understand this properly. Let's say I have a source and I have a target. This is what I need in case of binding if I want to do binding. In source I have two property, name and full name of employee class. In target I have two text boxes, text box 1 and text box 2 with text property. And this is how it has been bound to each other. Name with text of 1 and full name with text of the second text box. Now this full name is using the name property internally and adding Mr. and with Mr. suffix to it. For example, if in the name property data is Trump, then full name is Mr. Trump. This is how it is. And then these two data, as it has been bound this way, two-way mode, it will be reflected here. Now the most important thing, if this text is changed to Modi later on, then my expectation should be that it should be reflected everywhere. Why? Because this is bound two-way, so Modi will be reflected here also. Now full name is using name, then it should be reflected here also, and then again this two-way mode is there, so this will be reflected here also. Something like this everywhere. It should be Mr. Modi, Modi, and Mr. Modi. Now let's go to Visual Studio to see if this is working or not, and then we'll understand in what scenario INotifyPropertyChanged will come into picture. So in coding, I have already done some prerequisite to save time. I have this employee class which has two properties, name and full name. This full name property is returning this underscore name field with Mr. suffix to it. Let's come to XAML and see what is there. So I have two text boxes, as you can see also from the visual. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to bind the text properties of these two text boxes with two properties, name and full name. So how do we do that? I need to first create the instance of employee class. I can do it in resource section, windows.resources, and then I have this local namespace where I can find my employee class, and then I need to give it a key. With this I am actually instantiating my class, employee class, and then somewhere I need to set the data context so that I can find my properties. So let's set data context in the grid section, data context, and then static resource, and then you see I found my employee static resource. And then in both the text boxes find the text property and then bind with name, and in the second find the text property and bind with full name. Okay, as you can see here in the visual, Mr. came in the second text box because name is empty initially. So let's initialize the name property also when you are instantiating your class, name to Trump, and then let's run it to see in the UI. Okay, so in the UI I can see here Trump and Mr. Trump, but before that let me use also update source trigger here. We'll talk about it quickly. So update source trigger. So when I want my source to be triggered, so I want my source to be triggered on property change itself, property changed. Okay, so this is again I used, and then let's run it now and see what is happening. Okay, so Trump and Mr. Trump, let's change it to Modi, and yeah, my expectation was that it should change to Mr. Modi, but it did not happen. Why? Because in code, when I am changing this name, I need to notify the UI that full name has also been changed. I need to do this. This is not happening, and that is the reason why the second text box text property was not changed to Mr. Modi. So now this interface will come into picture, which is INotifyPropertyChanged. Now this interface is there in system.componentModel namespace. And let's quickly implement this also, and here you can see this event. So now you need to invoke this event. So how to invoke this event? Write a method void then on property changed, use capital changed, and then pass it a parameter. Give it a parameter like property name.
and check whether this event is null or not, or property changed is not null if it has been registered somewhere, and then you need to invoke it. So invoke it, property changed. Okay, so what it needs an object sender and a property changed event args. So sender is this class. So with this I think I can access the instance of my class, and then you need to create the instance of property changed event args. So new property changed event args, and then see what it needs property name. So pass property name. Okay, with this I'm done. Now what you need to do, you need to call this method when you are setting this name field here. So call this on property changed, and then pass that full name has also been changed. Okay, let's run this and see if it is working now. Okay, so initially Trump has been initialized when we created the instance. Now change it to Moody. You see it is reflecting here. Change it to something else like Mr. Anuj. Everything is working. So you understood this interface came into picture to notify the UI that this property has been changed. So with this we are done, and hope you have enjoyed and you have understood the concept. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.